What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope everyone is doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great Saturday. We've got less than 24 hours till week 11 of the 2022 fantasy football season kicks off. I guess we got Thursday night, but you guys know what I mean. We got less than 24 hours till Sunday's slate of week 11 games are here. So you guys know what time it is, baby. Time for some live week 11 fantasy Q&A. So smash that like button on the way in. Hit that subscribe button, of course, if you are new to the channel. Let me know what's popping, guys. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what you guys need. Start, sits, ads, drops, roster confidence, roster non-confidence, last minute waiver, ads, weather updates, injury updates, whatever you guys need. Let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Let's talk some fantasy football. It's Saturday night. Hop in the live chat. We're going to hang out a bit. I'm excited to be here with you guys. Let's get into it, man. So, week 11. Can you guys believe that? Like, we are about to wrap up week 11. And we're going to be in week 12. I don't know where this season has gone. It has just absolutely flown by. Absolutely flown by. So, we got the Bears, Falcons tomorrow. Eagles, Colts, Jets, Pats, Commanders, Texans. Rams, Saints, Browns, Bills, Panthers, Ravens, Lions, Giants. Raiders, Broncos, Cowboys, Vikings, Bengals, Steelers, Chiefs, Chargers, Niners, Cardinals. I don't know, man. I feel like tomorrow's wide open. I feel like we're, I said this last week, like we're in that very pivotal part of the season, where teams are starting to kind of establish who they are or who they're going to be, potentially make a playoff push. But when you look at the NFL picture right now, things are completely open. Outside like the top 6 teams or so, things are just completely open. You got a lot of teams, just a couple of wins out, or a couple of losses outside of each other. So I don't know what to think about this weekend, but from a fantasy perspective, things are a little bit more clear. But I think we got a lot of 50-50 games going into the weekend, so should be a good weekend of action. I won't be surprised if we see some quote-unquote upsets, but should be a good weekend of football, quite frankly, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm going to hop right in the live chat. Probably only going to stream for about an hour tonight, so let me know what you guys need. Let's talk some fantasy football. Let's get right into it. All right, Albert, what's good, bro? How are you doing, man? Pray. I would definitely say the Tua and McLaurin side wins. I would not take the Kyler and Pacheco side. Not even close. Bryce, what's good, bro? Shane, what's going on? Should I start Hopkins and Andrews even though they're questionable? You might want to move Hopkins to the flex. He worries me a little bit more. Because it is a Monday Night Football game, So you don't want to get stuck last minute with no DeAndre Hopkins, and then nobody to replace him. So it's kind of a pain, but you can move him to the flex. Hopefully you were planning on flexing a receiver so it doesn't hurt your lineup too much. If you weren't, let me know. Mandrews on the other side is probably going to be good to go. I mean, he's still questionable. He's still got the knee and shoulder injury. So I'd be more willing to take a chance on Andrews. And I think Hopkins will probably be good to go. Everything I've read is that it's just precautionary. But it's definitely, you don't mess around with those hamstrings, right? But Andrews is a 1 o'clock game. I would assume we're going to know Andrews' status before kickoff tomorrow. So just monitor it closely, but he's not as risky per se. John, what's going on, man? DC King, what's up? How you guys doing? Appreciate you guys being here. Guys, smash that like button for me if you haven't done so already. Let's try and get as many likes on the stream as we start the night off. DC King, I need to have points PPR tomorrow. Williams, Antonio Gibson, Foreman. If you can only pick one, I'm assuming that's Jamal Williams, right? I will go Antonio Gibson. I love this matchup for Gibson against the Texans. I like both Brian Robinson and Gibson tomorrow, but Gibson does give you that PPR upside, of course. I like Foreman, but I think this Ravens defense, they remember they were on bye week last week, but the week before they absolutely swallowed up Alvin Kamara. So I'm a little bit worried about Foreman's total ceiling tomorrow. And then Williams has been kind of lackluster against the Giants. I mean, he's been a little bit up and down. He hasn't played awful from a full PPR standpoint, but I would say if I'm looking at the most upside here, I got to go Gibson against the Texans. Let me know what you think, man. John, I don't know if you ever got my comment the other day, but I ended up trading Fearmouth for Goddard. Okay, that's probably fine if you're in a good position. Is that the... I feel like you had another... I feel like you had Kelsey on that team as well. Remind me. Also traded Jacobs and Gibson for Jamal Williams and Hill. That's a huge trade in like a good way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like Gibson as a flex option. You guys know that. And Jacobs obviously is a RB6 right now in the season. So Jamal Williams a downgrade from both those guys, but he's still a viable RB2 flex option with a low ceiling. And then you get Tyreek Hill. So I'm good at that. I mean, it depends on the rest of your roster, but I'm still good with the trade in nature, you know. Albert, I saw a report that Mike Williams is playing tomorrow night. Yeah, I saw that as well. How do you guys feel? You might have Mike Williams and you might have Keenan Allen out there. Are you guys confident in starting either of those players? I'm less confident in starting Keenan Allen. Just because we really haven't seen him play outside of week 1. I don't know. But it's a good matchup against the Chiefs for both receivers involved. If you guys are relying on Josh Palmer, I probably would not do so this weekend. But I do think that there is a world where with Williams and or Allen on the field, things are opened up a little bit more for Josh Palmer in theory. So it's a good matchup against the Chiefs. Primetime game. It's a good game script too. Watch out for this Chargers unit. I think they could make a little bit of a comeback, so to speak, on the season. At least from a fantasy perspective. I think Herbert will be able to, you know, he gets Kansas City, Arizona, Las Vegas, and Miami the next coming weeks. I think it's going to be a good little stretch for the Chargers before they face Tennessee, the Colts, and the Rams in the fantasy playoffs, which will be a little bit tougher. But ultimately, I think I'm good to go with Mike Williams in the flex. I think we know what to expect out of him. He's a boomer bust receiver, always brings some upside. And he's a flex player, you know? So I'm not too worried to start him personally. What's up, Big D? David, do you think Lamb pops this week or A.J. Brown? I will go Lamb. It's very close, but Lamb has the better matchup. The Colts have played very well against the wide receiver position. I mean, I still like A.J. Brown, you know. But I like Lamb more. Yeah. I think that's one of the best games of the weekend. Cowboys at the Vikings. Jason, what's good, bro? Have you heard anything on D-Hop? Have him starting, but he plays Monday night. Not sure who to play. Have Pittman and Deontay. See, it's so close there, man. Like, I would almost risk it. Like, if you don't have better options, I would consider risking it and just putting D-Hop in my lineup. But if you truly have to go with one of the other players, I'd probably go Deontay. But, I mean, here's the report on Hopkins. What I've got on my end is listed as questionable. Both were limited in practice on Saturday. I mean, that's it. Like, that doesn't really help us, you know. This report is also talking about all the other injuries. So I did read that it's a precautionary measure when it comes to Hopkins and that he should be good to go. But, I mean, he just got such a bad position having players on Monday night with that happening. So I don't have a great update for you, Jason, but I would consider risking it. Anthony, start Kadarius Toney over Devonta Smith, have Waddle on bye. I probably would go with Toney, who's essentially, I mean, if you include Kelsey's probably the wide receiver 3, you know, number 3 target for Patty Mahomes going into the weekend, but that's still good enough, you know. And once again, it's a competitive matchup. The Chargers haven't been necessarily bad against the pass, but they haven't been good either. They're like in the middle. So I just think this is one of those games where you want to exploit this matchup. You want to exploit this game script as a whole. So I do like Toney, actually. And the reasoning over Devonta Smith, and just don't forget, I mean, Devonta Smith is always a player who you can throw into your flex, right? And if it looks like you're going for your wide receiver 2 potentially here, if you have Waddle on bye. So if you're looking at Devonta Smith as a wide receiver 2, what you got to keep in mind is he plays the Colts. It's a tough matchup. You know, the Colts are the best team in the league against position, so which is crazy. So I don't think it's a great matchup for Devonta Smith. Like if I'm going with the Eagles receiver, I'm probably going to go with AJ Brown because he is AJ Brown. So yeah, man, give me Tony to answer your question. Give me the upside, give me the matchup, give me the game script. Let's do it. Trade Metcalf for Cooper. I'd rather have Metcalf. I mean, it's close. I mean, we got to look at how many home games Cooper's got left in the season because apparently he only plays well at home. I mean, it's close, right? Cooper's your wide receiver 14. He's at Buffalo, who I guess they're at Detroit, right, with the rearrangement of the game. Got a Tampa Bay home game in Week 12. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to read too much into that. I mean, he has not played well in away games this year. His best stat line is Week 7 at Baltimore, 10.4 fantasy points every other week. In an away game, he's had 6.2 or less points. Every home game, he's had 14.4 or more points. So it's just weird. But, you know, I think this offense is going to look different with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. You know, I don't think it's necessarily going to be bad for Cooper, but, you know, like Week 13, they get Houston. That's going to be an interesting game. Is that a primetime game? All right, so, I mean, Cooper's still your wide receiver 14 on the season. He's still playing quite well. Metcalf, on the other hand, is your wide receiver 17, a little bit lower. It's close. Like, I don't think it's necessarily an upgrade or a downgrade for your team. How do you feel about it? If you have the faith that like that offense is going to take a little bit of a step forward with Watson as a quarterback, then I'd probably consider it for sure. But they're very close. If it was Lockett, I keep Lockett. He's played better on the season than Metcalf. John, my RBs right now are Eckler, Rashad White, and Jamal Williams. I'm looking to trade Waddle for RB2 since I already have Chase, Tyreek, and Amari. I think that's fine. You know, but I mean, starting Waddle, Chase, when he's healthy, Tyreek is fine. Starting Waddle, Tyreek, and Amari is fine too. But if you want to get that upgrade at RB2, I think that's just don't sell yourself short. Don't forget, like Waddle is your wide receiver 6 on the season. You should get good value for Waddle, like a good player for Waddle. Pick 2, Tony, Debo, or Stevenson. Whoo! What's up, Reese? I like all these options. I can't sit Stevenson right now. I can't. The dude's balling. Your RB10 played the Jets on Week 8, had 21.3 points. And this week he's at home as opposed to an away game. I mean, the heart and soul of this Patriots offense is Ramondre Stevenson. So I'm starting Stevenson. Debo for floors, Tony for upside, but Debo, who I still believe in, has been playing a little bit down as of late. So I might be going Tony and Stevenson here. What do you think, Reese? Do you think Gus Edwards will play? Probably. Let's see. Still listed as questionable. That's a 1 o'clock game, correct? Yep. We'll know tomorrow, Pray, at some point before kickoff. So just keep posted, my dude. Am I crazy for wanting to start Tony over AJ Brown in my flex this week? I'd probably start AJ Brown, but I don't think you're crazy because Tony does hold a lot of upside going into this matchup. A good game script, primetime game, competitive game, right? Theoretically, so I don't think you're crazy with AJ Brown having a tough matchup against the Colts as well, but I wouldn't bench AJ Brown, you know. I mean, he's going to finish as one of the top receivers, I still think, on the week, but you have some really good receivers on bye and Cooper Kupp out, right? But he's your wide receiver 9 on the season, you know. I get it, right? A little banged up, actually, last week with the ankle injury, and then that was a big part of why he played so poorly last week. But also, I mean, it doesn't feel promising that he played so poorly against Washington. But at the same time, I just can't bench a guy like AJ Brown. But I don't think it's crazy. I mean, obviously, if you're flexing AJ Brown, like, you have pretty good options at wide receiver 1 and 2. So, do you think Hollywood Brown plays? Once again, we don't have a great update there for Hollywood. we don't really have a good update at all for the Cardinals players. And I feel like Cliff Kingsbury and company is probably trying to use that to his advantage, because this is a big pivotal game. Like, if the Cardinals win this game, they can kind of sneak into the hunt again. Like, things are still pretty open. They do have a tough schedule, though. Chargers, a bye week, New England, Denver, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, San Francisco. That's why it's a big game. So if they win this one, you know, they beat Atlanta. Or they already played. Wait, don't they play the Rams again? They play the Rams? No, they already played the Rams twice. Okay, well, anyways, for that division's big game, right? But gosh, they got a tough schedule. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna pull this one off. But anyways, you got Kyler is questionable, Hollywood Brown is questionable, Hopkins is questionable. You know, that really kind of screws up some defensive planning. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't know much until Monday night. I don't have a great update there for you, Jason. Should I trade Saquon for Jefferson? Shane, it just depends. Would you rather have the running back value or the receiver value? You know, it's a fair trade in nature, right? And I think you literally are trading the RB3 for the wide receiver 3. Barkley has moved back to RB4 in PPR. JJ is your wide receiver 3. So it's a fair trade, you know. But depends. Do you want that running back value on your team or that receiver value? What do you need more? Christopher, what's good, bro? Chris Olave or DPJ? I go Chris Olave. I'm not giving up on Olave quite yet. I know his ceiling hasn't been as high in the last couple of weeks, but I'm still rolling my board. Chris, your wide receiver 18 on the season. I guess the Rams this week. Oh, I wonder, do we know if Winston or Dalton are starting? Do we still not know? Oh, Andy Dalton is the starter. Okay. I was getting excited for my boy Jameis. I go Olave here, though. I go Olave. Hey, DPJ is an extremely safe start in PPR, but I still go Olave. If you think D-Hop is playing, Kirk and Waddle on bye, I'm already sitting Murray. Yeah, once again, and do I think I think D-Hop definitely has a good. I think D-Hop probably has a better chance to play than Hollywood, but don't trust me because I truly have no idea at the end of the day. It's just my own speculation. But just keep in mind, guys, like if you have Hollywood, if you have D-Hop, and you want them in your starting lineups, like you got to put them in the flex just in case. So it just depends on what that does to your lineup for the week. Derek, I'm benching Foreman. He's going to be a bust. Panthers fall behind early since he doesn't catch any passes. Yeah, I am kind of worried. Like, you know, I look at the game script against the Bengals, right? And this game is in Baltimore, right? The game with the Bengals was in Cincinnati, and the Bengals got up and at them early on, just beat up on the Panthers. Joe Mixon went wild, all that. And Donta Foreman didn't stand a chance, you know. Foreman, I am a little bit worried about for the game script, you know, like we're talking about, but also like do the matchup. I really think this Ravens defense, as this season starts to kind of wrap up this, you know, moving in the second half and everything, this Ravens defense, I mean, just that addition of Roquan Smith has made a huge difference against the run. So I am worried about Foreman, but if you don't have better options, he's still okay, but I'm worried about him. Olrak was good, bro. Lucius, what's good, bro? I'm still 10-0 in that league I usually message about on here. Let's go. A user comes to me and trades me Tyreek for Higgins and Smith. Woo! Watching 12 people go crazy on a thread trying to veto. It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's getting vetoed. Because you are 10-0. And, I mean, listen. Listen. For me, when it comes to trades, unless it's just completely ridiculous. Like, if you were trading Randall Robinson for Tyreek Hill, like that's out of question, right? You know, if you're trading Samaje Perine for Saquon Barkley, like that's ridiculous, right? But if you're trading two starters, Devonta Smith and T. Higgins, and you're trading with a full-grown adult, and you're a full-grown adult, and they want to trade you Tyreek Hill, and you guys both agree on it, I don't think it should be vetoed. I don't think that's too crazy. Although you ultimately 110% win that trade, I don't think that should be vetoed, you know. But I don't really. I get why it is being. Space Ghost, I picked up Slayton just in case. I do think Slayton's a really good streaming option against the Lions. I think he's going to have a good week. You know, when we look at his last couple games, he's been playing very well. He really has solidified himself as a wide receiver 1 for the Giants in the last couple weeks, right? Since week 5, 11.6 or more fantasy points in every game except for week 5 against Baltimore, where he had just 2.8 fantasy points. But he gets the Lions this week. Okay. Can't ask for a better matchup. He had Houston in week 10, who have actually played well against the position, 18.5 fantasy points. Seattle in week 8, he was on bye in week 9, 11.6 points. Seattle's actually played very well against opposing receivers. So I like Slayton right now. He's a great streaming option. Oh, you're good, Space Ghost, bro. Underdog props you're favoring this week. We can roll through here real quick. I mean, I'll always take a chance on Nick Chubb to score a touchdown, but 1 rushing touchdown is always a scary prop. I like DPJ over 47.5 fantasy, or excuse me, over 47.5 receiving yards. I think that's a great line. Singletary, I want to like Singletary, but I feel like these lines are just a little bit too high. If I had to take one, it would be 53.5 rushing yards, but still a little high for my liking. But he gets Cleveland, and they played awful against position. I don't really like the... I like Terrace Marshall over 33.5 receiving yards. Maybe take 2.5 receptions, but that's still pretty steep looking at the last couple weeks for him. But 33.5 receiving yards I do like. Lamar over 9 rushing attempts is okay, but what you got to expect for a Lamar rushing attempt line, like, you want this game to be competitive, right? He's going to run the ball more in a matchup where things get competitive. Think about the game against Tampa Bay. That was a Thursday night game, right? That game got competitive. That game got close. We saw a lot of rushing attempts out of Lamar Jackson. I just don't know if it's going to happen with the Panthers. But if you think it's going to happen, then I do think it's a good prop. Let's see. Don't like any of these Lions lines. Price Picks has Saquon to score a rushing touchdown. I love that prop, but Underdog does not have it. The lines for Saquon are pretty high on Underdog, so I don't love them. But if I had to go with one, high line for the weekend, it's probably Saquon over 98.5 rushing yards, because he gets Detroit and he's just gonna run wild. So Michael Carter over 42.5 rushing yards, not bad. It's a bad matchup. Actually, I don't really like that one, but maybe Michael Carter over 14.5 receiving yards. Once again, some of these lines are a little bit lower on Price Picks. He's got some good lines on Price Picks. Yeah, I'm going to skip the Jets here. I do like Ramondre Stevenson's probably 65.5 rushing yards. I think he's going to have a good game, so I would take a chance on him. Nick Folk over 1.5 field goals. I kind of have gotten away from kicker props, but I do like Nick Folk at 1.5 field goals against. He had like 5 field goals against the Jets the other week. He's been kicking a ton of field goals lately. I do like Nick Folk this weekend. Heineke to throw picks, not a bad prop. No disrespect to my boy Heineke. Gibson, or like, Underdog's not giving you a lot of options for B-Rob or Gibson. Price Picks has a lot. Underdog will give you some updates tomorrow before the games kick off for some better lines as well. But Robinson against Houston, Gibson against Houston, try to exploit that. I don't necessarily love these props right here. Gibson's average a little bit. This is not as consistent, and B-Rob is a little bit too high for my liking, but they have a great matchup. McLaurin I really like tomorrow, but once again, these two lines, 4.5 receptions, 62.5 receiving yards, are pretty high. But I do like McLaurin because Taylor Heineke kind of gets tunnel vision and just throws it up to McLaurin. I like Pierce to score a touchdown. Pierce over 18.5 rushing attempts is a little steep if you look at it the last couple games, but I do like Pierce to score a touchdown. But touchdown props are always risky. Nico Collins, I like him going into tomorrow. Washington's like 22nd in the league against opposing receivers. And I feel like Collins, I feel like both these lines are pretty solid. 40.5 receiving yards or 3 receptions or higher, both pretty good. Justin Fields, I'll take the over on the rushing yards. 71.5 is what Underdog's got him at. I'll take the over all day long. All day long, for sure. 11.5 rushing attempts, a little high. I take a gamble there. That one feels a little high. But 71.5 rushing yards against Atlanta feels nice. Monty, I want to like a lot, but I don't really like any of the specific props. Darnell Mooney, over 3.5 receptions against Atlanta's secondary, I love. Over 47.5 receiving yards, a little bit more steep, but I like a lot. Cole Kmet, I don't mind either. I'd probably go with the receptions, but it's kind of close there. Kind of close. Not loving these Falcons lines, but I do feel like there's somebody in here we could exploit. But I just don't. Those are a little steep for me. Not as many touchdown props out at the moment, but like Cordell Patterson scored touchdowns, always enticing. Don't love these Rams picks, but I might take a chance on Allen Robinson tomorrow, or even Tyler Higbee. But the Saints have played so well against the tight end position that I don't really like that one. I'd take a chance on Kamara to score a touchdown tomorrow, but keep in mind that the Rams' defense has been very good against the position. The Jalen Hurts' lines are just too high for me. Miles Sanders, I like a lot tomorrow, but all these lines are pretty high. Gainwell at 12 rushing yards, I do like, especially if you think the Eagles are going to win in high fashion tomorrow. Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown, I like tomorrow. I do like that one. Philly has been kind of slacking against the run, although they signed Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, but I just like I like JT to score a touchdown tomorrow. I think he's getting back on track. Paris Campbell, I don't love these lines, but I like Paris Campbell in tomorrow's game. I don't like the Raiders going into tomorrow against Denver. I think it's too risky. I might go Mac Hollins on the under. Mac Hollins under 35.5 receiving yards, I do like. I like Russell Wilson tomorrow. I think he's going to have a decent game. Call me crazy. I take the over on the passing yards. I think he gets closer to 250 passing yards. Cortland Sutton is a little bit too high, so I don't want to take anything on him. I don't know what line they're going to give you for Dak Prescott passing yards, but I like Prescott at the over tomorrow. Pollard, guys, we don't know if Zeke's going to be out yet, and I think Zeke is expected to play, but I would take Pollard at 44.5 rushing yards for sure. The over for sure. Cook to score a touchdown is not bad, but he's got to score a rushing touchdown. It's a little risky. I want to take someone on the Vikings, but I don't know who. I would take Burrow. Ooh, it's a little high for the passing yards. I consider Burrow, though. Joe Mixon to score a touchdown, not a bad prop. Boyd and Higgins are too high for my liking, man. Some high lines still sitting on Saturday night for Underdog, man. Oh, I don't like really any of the Steelers lines. Yep. If I had to go with one on Patty Mahomes, I mean, I'll take a chance on Patty Mahomes to throw about 300 passing yards. He's done it feels like every game this year. If you can get a line on McKinnon, that is receiving yards. I like McKinnon at about 30 receiving yards. I think that's a good prop. I'd take that. MVS over 3 receptions is a nice line. You know, doesn't it feel like Kelsey to score a receiving touchdown is a lock? It's just not. He hasn't scored that many touchdowns this year. He had 4 in one game, but do we have an Eckler? No, if there was an Eckler, there is a 5. I would take Eckler over 5 receptions for sure, even with Mike Williams and Allen potentially coming back. So, all right, there you go. We went through the whole dang thing. Why not? All right, let me get back to the chat. All right. You think Higbee is a top 5 tight end now since he'll receive more targets now Kupp is injured? I don't know if I'd say top 5, but he can definitely creep back into that territory. It's a tough matchup this weekend, so I don't know if it necessarily starts to happen this weekend. But yeah, in terms of PPR, he can definitely creep back into that territory. Anthony, Dak, Eckler, T. Higgins, Devonta Smith, Pat Freiermuth, Dalvin Cook, Tony Pitts, Waddle, and Bye, Jamal Williams. Should I start Kadarius over Smith? Yes, I would. I would. If that's your lineup, yeah. Austin Eckler, Higgins. Who's your RB2? Because you got Dalvin Cook in the flex. Who's your RB2? Algier, Gus, J-Rob, McKinnon, non-PPR. I'd probably go Gus. Gus or J-Rob if it's non-PPR. If it was PPR, I'd go McKinnon. What's up, Real Goated? Cheesy, what's good, bro? Someone offered Debo and Singletary for Stevenson and DK. I got DK. My wide receivers are Chase, Sutton, Pittman, and Juju. While my running backs are Saquon, Mixon, Pollard, and White. Tough scene at receiver. Should I do it? No. No. DK's playing better on the season than Debo. So I'd keep DK. And Stevenson's playing better than Singletary. No, I would not do the trade. Not even close, my dude. Kadarius, Tony, or Ayuk? Ayuk for a floor, Tony for upside. Ayuk's got the tougher matchup, but has been playing more consistent. We have a better sample size out of, but Ayuk for a floor, Tony for upside. What do you think, Goated? High upside, low risk. What's good, bro? Need your opinion on a trade. Should I trade Tua and Connor for Andrews, Likely, and Lockett? My starting quarterback is Burrow. Got CMC, Connor, Mitchell, Pierce, and Stevenson. I drafted Pitts. You can consider it. RB, CMC. So you'd have CMC, Pierce, Stevenson, Mitchell on the bench. Yeah, you can definitely consider this trade. I mean, you get an additional receiver, but you get the wide receiver 10. You get Mark Andrews in his handcuff. You trade away Tua, but you got Burrow. He's already had his bye week. Connor's like nice for your depth, but you still have 3 starting running backs if you trade him in a handcuff to CMC. So I would definitely consider the trade if you feel good about it. I think it's a good trade for you. Mike, what's good, bro? Do I risk Mike Williams start or just go with Myers? If you need the upside, risk it for the biscuit. Risk Mike Williams. If not, Myers is a safe floor. He does have a very tough matchup, though. He did play well against the Jets a couple weeks ago, though. Joe, what's good, bro? Who should I flex, Carter or Pittman? Personally, I'd flex Carter, but Pittman's okay, too. But he's going to see a majority of the Eagles' secondary pressure, so I'd probably go Carter, who still has a tough matchup, but played pretty well against the Patriots just 2 weeks ago, so... How do you feel about it, Joe? King Marcel, what's good, bro? PPR need 3 receivers. 1 running back, 1 flex. Debo, Tony Pickens, DPJ, Palmer, Pacheco, Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams, Foreman, Hollywood Brown. All right, let's see here. 3 receivers. Give me Debo. Give me Tony. Give me Pickens. If it's PPR, you're good to go there. 1 running back here. That one's tough. Because you got Pacheco in a good matchup, but not a big ceiling. You got Gus Edwards questionable. You got Jamal Williams, who doesn't bring a good ceiling once again. You got Foreman in a bad matchup. I think the safest option is Jamal Williams, but quite frankly, man, any of these players can outscore each other. Most weeks I'm going to go Donta Foreman, but I just got a bad feeling about this matchup in this game script for Foreman. I'm afraid we're going to see kind of what we got against the Bengals the other week. So I might just have Jamal Williams in at the moment. What do you think about that? And then I would flex. It's really tough because you want to flex Hollywood Brown in theory, you know. But we don't know if he's going to play, and I don't think we're going to know in time. So you're probably going to go DPJ. What do you think, Marcelo? John, what RBs do you think I should target with a Waddle Jamal Williams package? You should be targeting a top 10 receiver. Like, are you going to crack that top 5, maybe even that top 6 category? Probably not, but like CeeDee Lamb, definitely an option. A.J. Brown, an option. I would not sell yourself short. You know, oh, I'm so sorry. You're traded for a running back. I was like, wait. A top 10 running back. So I would consider Dalvin Cook. I mean, he's right outside the threshold at RB11, you know. You're not going to top, like, you're not going to get Henry, CMC, Eckler. You might be able to get JT, who I would still consider. Mixon, Kamara, who's not a top 10, but still I would consider. You're not going to get Chubb or Barkley, I don't think. But, yeah, Cook, Kamara, Mixon, Aaron Jones. I think all those guys are worth the trade. I would not sell yourself short selling Waddle. Another guy to consider would be Kenneth Walker, who's not in that range in terms of his ranking, but that's because the first 4 weeks of the season didn't really count for him. But he's someone you can consider as well. But yeah, I would not sell yourself short because you're also giving a pretty decent running back in terms of a floor away with Waddle, who's a top 6 receiver. DC King, I'll start Gibson. Now I'm stuck between my flex, Foreman, and Jamal Williams. Close. I probably go Jamal. But Jamal still got a tough matchup against the Giants, you know. What you're hoping for with Jamal is that he scores a touchdown. But you could still go Foreman here, you know, in the flex. But I'm a little worried about Foreman. Mac, what's good, bro? Standard League, pick 2. Kamara, Tony, Mike Williams, and Monty. Need some upside. Give me Kamara and Tony. Mike Williams is going to bring that upside too, but I'll go Kamara and Tony here. Just because Williams coming off injury. Trevor, pick 1 to start half PPR. Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Pickens. Ooh. Give me Garrett Wilson, but very close between him and Pickens. Pitts or Higbee? I'll go Higbee. Bad matchup, but I'll go Higbee. I've watched Antonio on my bench. Already missed on Watson. I'm going to kick myself if Tony goes off. Yeah, you might want to go Tony there. Anyone starting Tony over Olave? I'm sure someone is. Is Jimmy G a good fallback option if Kyler doesn't play? Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo just going to bring you a safe floor. Is the ceiling high? Not even close, but he's a safe floor on a week-in, week-out basis. You know, hopefully he gets you closer to 17, 18 fantasy points and not closer to 14 or 15. But yes, safe option if you can't roll with Kyler for sure. And it's a good situation because, you know, you're going to get that call probably on Monday, so maybe late Sunday. I'm starting Tony, already started Watson. Times are changing. Quick on the bye week. It's that time of the season, fantasy freak. Hardman and Juju out. Sky Moore stinks. MBS unreliable. Other than Kelsey, who else they got? Yeah, I think MBS will get good volume in this game. But, I mean, we're going into this game with Tony theoretically as the number 2 receiving option for sure behind Kelsey. I agree. Matt Capper, Watson smashed it. He was picked up off the waiver wire this week in my league. Dude picked him up Wednesday and promptly benched him before Thursday night game. Warriorloff was good, bro. How's it going? Best of luck to you, too. Full PPR flex, Foreman, Higbee, TPJ, or Gallup. I probably am going with DPJ here just as the safest option in PPR. Had Henry and Watson Thursday. Let's go, bro. Missed out on getting Tony, so now that Keenan Allen's going to play, do I fire him up or run with Moore? I really think that what we saw in the Cincy game was them saving players for Thursday. Thoughts? I'm assuming it's DJ Moore. DJ Moore against against the Ravens is fine, but I still worry about DJ Moore. So I don't know if I want to start Keenan Allen right out the gate. Fantasy freak, Lamar better player. I guess I flip back to Justin Fields. I mean, yeah, great option. Great option. I mean, and both have great option or great matchups this weekend as well. You can really go with either. I mean, Lamar against Panthers, Fields against Falcons is beautiful. Patriots in the under 38. Giants in over minus 45. Chiefs in over minus 52. I like it. I like it. Good to see you, Jason. Jeff, what's up, bro? Who do you like better this week, Palmer or Pickens? I go Pickens. Yeah, I go Pickens for sure. Ooh, lost my spot. Okay. Been hard to trust anyone in Kansas City besides Kelsey most of the year. 2 wide target tree, and wide receiver 1 is a different guy every week, and the wide receiver 1 hasn't gotten the red zone targets. Yeah, I mean, really before the injuries, like for a couple weeks, Juju and Hardman were pretty consistent, but you still, like, in the back of your head, didn't feel great, you know, like you wanted them in the flex. So I get what you're saying. I got Montgomery at 61 before it was bumped. Nice. I do like that line. I think Monty's gonna have a good game, but I just worry. Like, it's a great matchup, but Justin Fields is taking a lot of value away from the running back position. But obviously, with Herbert out, it's a little bit better as well. Let's see. Boyd, Mike Williams, Sutton, Olave, standard pick 1. And standard, I'm going to go Boyd against the Steelers secondary. Hawkinson over 4.5 receptions is money. I do like, I have been looking at Hawkinson lines because they're a little bit lower because you're tight end and they feel a little bit more obtainable for sure. Price Picks has Pollard at 42.5. Yeah, I would take that as well. I think I have a line in on Price Picks for Pollard, so I think that's a good line for sure. Dak or Herbert, 4-point touchdowns. Ooh, I think they're both going to have really good games. Give me Dak by a hair. I think they're both going to have really good games. Jefferson and Mostert for CMC and Campbell. Mostert is my RB2, and that's scary. Decent wide receiver depth. Jeez, man. What wide receivers do you have on this roster, Ice-T? It's just a lot to give away, JJ. But receiving CMC is obviously a lot as well at the running back position. Davis, I got a bunch of props before they were bumped earlier in the week, but I took Mahomes at 195. Now it's down to 190. Can't get an advantage on them all for sure. For sure. Mahomes at 195 what? Passing yards? Books always win in the long run. Yeah, man. For sure. For sure. Except on Monday night. We got the Eagles and the Commies out there. John Kirker Wilson for QB1. What's up, Mr. Sarcastic? I do think Wilson's actually a decent streaming option. But, give me Captain Kirk. Safer play. I was leaning towards Michael Carter over Pittman. Yeah, I'd probably go Carter. I mean, it is a bad matchup on paper. The Patriots have played well against the position. But it's gross. Give me Carter. I just don't trust Pittman, which is crazy. You know, such a hot commodity in the offseason, which where he was getting drafted at, I feel like I never really went after Pittman in our mocks through the offseason, but you would think it'd be an easy answer, right? Pierce, Swift, and Pacheco need to. Bro, call me crazy, but I'm going to bench Swift. I'm thinking Campbell over Pittman. Pittman doesn't know how to find the end zone. Yeah, that's fair. Drake, Najee, or Foreman, full PPR. What's up, Big Ham? Call me crazy. I might go Drake here. Pay attention to Gus Edwards, but I might go Drake here. I feel like he brings the most upside. Watch your 6. What's up, man? Starter sit. Rams defense or Saints defense? I'll go to the Saints. That offensive line for the Rams is a mess. I don't know who the starting running back is on this team. They lost Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford has been one of the best quarterbacks in all of fantasy football to stream against. The Rams have been one of the best offenses to stream against when it comes to opposing defenses. I'll go with the Saints. Matt Capper with you on Foreman. If he blows it up this week, he's probably a matchup-proof must-start rest of the season. Facing both tough run defense and negative game script could be his worst matchup of the year. Yeah, and it's going to be hard to top the Bengals game, but I just have that. I got a bad feeling there. But all it's going to take is for the Panthers to put together one good drive and Foreman to score one good touchdown for a good enough respectable fantasy line, you know. Saints D going to get loose. Monty or Mooney for my flex. I'll go Mooney. I think he brings more upside. I just think Fields going to take a lot of that value away from Monty. When you look at the last couple of weeks, that's what's been happening. Would you start Kittle or Schultz this week? I'd start Kittle in a heartbeat. I feel like Schultz is safer, but Kittle could boom. Yeah. Arizona's the worst team in the league against opposing tight ends. Like I go Kittle by a landslide. And I like Schultz a lot, but I think I got Kittle as my tight end 2 on the week in our rankings video. Yeah, I'll go Kittle. And Schultz going to have a good game, but I'll go Kittle. Boy, Kevin, what's up, bro? Should I trade away Kirk and Lockett for someone like Adams or Lamb? Well, that's tough, man. You got to think about it this way, Kevin. Kirk is wide receiver 7 on the season, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'll double check for you. Yeah. And Lockett's wide receiver 10. So if you trade them for Adams, you're getting the wide receiver 6 or 8. I don't think it's a good trade in terms of value. I would not do that. You know? Could Adams or Lamb finish higher on the season? Sure, but I still think that Kirk and Lockett, if they continue on the pace they're at, will both be top 15 guys. I don't know if I like the trade, bro. Trevor, pick one to start. Half PPR. Garrett Wilson, Deontay Johnson, Pickens. Ooh, I think we already hit this one, right? Santos, DJ Moore, you're good, bro. Waiver wire has some options. Slayton, Campbell, Wilson, Thielen can drop. Moore, Jamal Williams, Carter. Ooh. I don't know if I would drop any of those players. But if you have to pick a player off the waiver wire here, I go Slayton. I think Slayton against the Lions is a lock for a good game. Higbee or Marone, full PPR. I mean, Higbee is such a bad matchup this weekend, but I got to go Higbee here. The volume should still be there. Thoughts on Rachaad White rest of season? I think Rachaad White will take over the primary role for the Buccaneers, but I still think Leonard Fournette's going to have involvement within that offense, without a doubt. And I think that he will get a lot of red zone. I worry that, Rachaad White is going to be the one carrying the rock down the field, and then Leonard Fournette's going to steal some red zone touches. I do worry about that, but I just think Fournette has been very involved in the passing game this year. I think that Fournette will still be involved on some third downs and some red zone, end zone work as well. So I think Rachaad White is a good player to have, but I do think some of his value will get eaten into still. Davis, 395. Sorry, had it wrong. Yeah, I was like, man, he got Mahomes at 195. Like, hell yeah, you should have put like your paycheck down on that, right? What's up, man? Need advice in my flex, Foreman or Pacheco? Or is Keenan a better option? Starting Lamar, Cook, Ramondre, CD, Watson, Komet. A great lineup. Jock Sand. Hope I'm saying that right. You have a really good lineup here. You already started Watson. He was a smash. I think Komet's going to have another good week. CD's going to have a good game and a competitive game script. Ramondre and Cook look good. Lamar's got a good matchup. So you're in a good position here where you can play for some upside, But I would probably go with Pacheco. Good matchup, good competitive game script. I like Pacheco here, but you can really go with any of these options. I think Foreman, a little bit risky here. I think that Ravens defense looks pretty good against the run, but you could go Keenan, but it's a little risky because he might sit. It's a Sunday night matchup. So I personally go Pacheco because I think his floor is really safe. And even if you hit his floor, you're in a good position because I think that your lineup looks really solid, man. And if he gets a good ceiling for the week, then you're in a really good spot as well. So, All right, Jason with the $5 dono. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you, man. And shout out. I love the, you got to give respect to the Walter Payton avatar as well. But we got to throw some emojis in the chat for Jason. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that. I have Kittle and Schultz. Would you consider trading Schultz for Hunt as insurance for Chubb? Already have Madison as an insurance for Cook. I personally wouldn't, Jason, because I guess it depends on the rest of your roster. Like, it's not a bad idea to go out and get those handcuffs, but I still think you're selling Schultz for too little. And having the advantage of Kittle and Schultz on a weekly basis, like, you can play those two based on matchup. You got a really safe floor player in Dalton Schultz and a nice boomer bust option in Kittle. And just keep in mind, Kittle in certain matchups, his boomer bust nature, or he's boom or bust in nature. And then he does deal with some injuries, where Schultz is kind of providing you with that stability, right? So is it a good idea to try out and go out and get your handcuffs? Sure. But Chubb has looked great this year. I don't think Chubb's in any real danger of getting hurt. I really don't. So I personally don't think I'd do the trade. But I just think it's too... I just think you're underselling Schultz here. And I'm not worried about Chubb personally. Now, of course, if Chubb gets hurt this weekend, I'm look like an idiot. But you can't ever predict injury, right? So I don't think I'd do the trade, Jason. Let me know what you think, though. Jason, I appreciate the super chat, my dude. I appreciate you, bro. Komet or Hurst, I go Komet all day long. Great matchup. I think Komet's going to have another good game for sure. Hurst is like a perfectly fine option, a floor option, but Komet's going to provide you with all that upside. Starter sit, Kelsey or Andrews, got both round 2 and 3. Whew. Give me Kelsey, but you can flex Andrews. Let's see here. Yeah, I wouldn't underestimate Kirk either. My team name is Commit Me, bro. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. Trevor, put my phone away, dog. What was your answer to my question? Oh, let's see here, Trevor. Oh, I got you, bro. I probably am going Garrett Wilson and half PPR, but it's close. Very close with Pickens as well. Because in half PPR, like, you're looking for who's going to score. You know, it's not necessarily like standard where, like, they have to score. You feel like you've ruined your week, but the touchdowns still help. And obviously, like, Wilson in full PPR is going to bring a lot more value as well. But I just think the volume for Wilson is really good right now. You know, 9 targets in week 9, 7 in week 8. I think he still brings a pretty safe floor in half PPR. But I do think that Pickens is a decent option. And this is like, an interesting dynamic, right, between Pickens and Deontay Johnson, right, with no Chase Claypool, right? So in week 10, we saw 5 targets for Johnson, 4 receptions, 63 receiving yards. That's a fine PPR stat line. And by fine, I mean like literally just fine. But in half PPR, that doesn't do much for you. Where Pickens gave you a little bit more overall. So, because he had a rushing touchdown, 14.5, well, in standard, he had 11.5 points, 4 targets, 3 receptions, 32 receiving yards. Then he also had 23 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So, like, Pickens brings some nice upside. I might go Pickens or Wilson. It's very close. Who do you feel better about? On paper, Pickens has the better matchup, but it's still close. They're still both pretty stout matchups. And I will go Higbee. It's a bad matchup for Higbee. And Pitts might actually give you a better chance to score. But I just can't trust Pitts on a weekly basis. It's close. But I might go Pickens. And then I might go Higbee. How do you feel about it, Trevor? Derek, what's good, bro? How are you, man? Great to see you. Hope the weekend's going well, man. Hope you're doing good. What's up, Derek? Would you start Tony or Rondell Moore? Give me Tony. How do you feel about it, Derek? Give me Tony. Rondell Moore's fine. But we got a lot of question marks around that offense right now. Is Hopkins going to start? Is Hollywood going to start? How's that affect Rondell Moore? He can play as a wide receiver 3 and give you value. Don't get me wrong, but hey, I'm on the Tony hype train. You guys know I wasn't on it, but I told you guys if I saw it, if we saw the production, I'll go with it. And not only is the production there, but we got Juju out, we got Hardman out, we got a good competitive game script this weekend. So I'll go Tony. Matt Kepper, what's your take on Njoku rest season coming out the injury and Watson returning? Yeah, I mean, Njoku was playing great from a fantasy perspective before the injury. So I'm not too concerned about Jacoby or Watson at quarterback. You know, between weeks 3, let's say between the first 7 weeks of the season. Let's just look at everything, right? 1.7 in week 1, 6.2 in week 2, 8.8 in week 6. So that's 3 games, right? The other 4 games that he's been fully healthy in, he's had 9.7 or more fantasy points, 14 or more fantasy points in 2 of those games, 23.9 in week 3 against Pittsburgh. So I'm good with Njoku. I mean, he's still your tight end 16 on the year, missing the last 2 weeks. So he was like tight end 8 before he got hurt. So I'm good with Njoku, bro. Let's see here. I got Tony in since Juju and Hardman are out for sure. Yard recall, what's up? DJ Moore, DPJ, or Paris Campbell? Woo! DPJ for a floor. Paris Campbell, I think, brings some upside this weekend. Yeah, but DPJ is a really safe option. DJ Moore is like, it's a decent matchup against the Ravens. Our secondary hasn't played great from a fantasy perspective, but DJ Moore is just a risky option. And like, I like DJ Moore less this week because Baker Mayfield's your starting quarterback. So I probably go with DPJ's your floor option, your safer option in PPR. Paris Campbell brings that upside. A little bit riskier. Santos, any worries? Some studs playing tomorrow, then Thursday, play limited action. I think they'll go full force. JJ Lamb, Swift, Williams, Barkley, I think they'll go. I mean, this is a really pivotal week overall. I think they go full force. I would not be worried about it. Now, Barkley might get in a position. It depends on how the Lions respond. And the Lions are actually one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. Just their defense can't do anything to help them. But I could see if the Giants get up by enough and Barkley has done his thing, like they might take Barkley out for a little bit. But I don't know, man. The Lions have actually kept things pretty competitive. So, but it is a good point. Short week for multiple teams this week because we got Thanksgiving football, baby. So Bills, Lions, Giants, Cowboys, Patriots, Vikings. Oh, we got some decent games this year. Let's go. Some good games on Thanksgiving. Let's go. Flex spot, half PPR, Swift, Ayuk, Pickens, or Warren. Give me Ayuk. Anthony, what's good, bro? Should I start Isaiah Pacheco? Yeah, he's a fine start if you don't have better options. Let's see here. Simple question for you. I got A.J. Brown, Higgins, Tony Pacheco, and Chris Olave. Pick 2 wide receivers in the flex. Ooh, simple question, but a lot of good players here. Give me A.J. Brown. Give me T. Higgins. Give me Kadarius Toney. Let's do it. We got you, Trevor. Of course, bro. Deontay Johnson or DPJ. It's a rough week for me. Hill, ET, and Lockett all in bye. I go DPJ. I just don't think Deontay Johnson brings a really good ceiling at all. Derek, I was thinking Tony too. I think it's a better option for you, bro. Would you start Foreman or Michael Carter? I'll go Carter by a hair. I'm worried about Foreman. Guys, am I overreacting on Foreman this weekend? I see a bad game script for the Panthers where they're going to end up having to throw the football, and I think that Ravens defense swallowed up Kamara 2 weeks ago. Roquan Smith looks like he's made a giant impact immediately for this run defense. I'm worried that we're going to see a similar game script to what we saw against the Bengals for the Panthers. So Michael Carter's got a bad matchup on paper, but he played just fine. against the Patriots in, what, week 8? So, what do you think, Damio? Do you think Andrews will score 15 or more? If he's healthy, if he absolutely has the opportunity. What's up, Reese? But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't like guaranteeing, like, exact points by any means. So it's hard to say. But definitely possible. If he's back, he feels good, he's fully healthy, it's definitely possible. Appreciate you, Derek. Good to have you in the house, man. Damio, I guess which 2 of the 3, Pittman, Foreman, Carter? I like Carter the most. I'm not feeling crazy about my boy Pittman, so I'd probably go Carter. Let's see here. Ramsey, what's good, bro? I traded Kenneth Walker and Chris Godwin for JT. Did I give up too much for the risk? No. I mean, it depends on the rest of your roster, of course, but probably not. They got a good deal. It's a fair trade on both sides. But I mean, yeah, you got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes. I like Kenneth Walker a lot, man, and Godwin, like, you can just bank on a full PPR, really safe floor on a weekly basis. So, but it could also be like a potential, like, playoff winning trade for you, man. So I don't think it's too bad. Juan, what's good, bro? Connor or Swift at running back, and Pitts or Njoku if healthy at tight end. I go Connor. I mean, it's a bad matchup on paper, but Connor has just seen enough volume and enough work within the passing game that I go Connor. And it's not a great matchup for Swift either. I just don't think Swift is bringing us a good enough ceiling to trust him. So I do worry about Swift, guys. Pitts or Njoku? I go Njoku if he's healthy, for sure. Is that a 1 o'clock? That's a 1 o'clock game, so you should have you should know. But Pitts is probably okay. I just don't trust Pitts on a weekly basis. You guys know that. Pretty nervous about Foreman, too. Ravens defense has been catching fire. Yeah, man. They just look good against the Saints. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Panthers and the Saints are 2 very different teams. And that was probably the worst game the Saints played all year. But still, I just have that bad feeling about Foreman going into the weekend. You know? All right, let's see. I'm a Baltimore Ravens guy, too, so it makes me more iffy to start Foreman. Fair enough. Reese, Eagles or Ravens defense? I might go with the Ravens. I don't know. It's very close. Very close. I think the Eagles are going to play better than they did last weekend, but I actually had the choice to pick up the Ravens off the waiver wire and play them over the Eagles in one of my leagues, and I still went with the Eagles, but it's very close. But what you want to go back to here is the fact that Baker Mayfield is going to be starting quarterback for the Panthers, so I do think that the Ravens bring more upside for sure, where the Eagles are a little bit more of a floor play. But it's very close, Reese. Do I start Jacoby Myers or Tony or Hollywood? What's good, Bryce? It's close. Like, you got a lot of good options here, but I go Tony. Super close. Myers played well against the Jets when they faced each other the other week, despite Sauce Gardner being extremely dominant, right? Sauce wasn't on him the whole game, but Hollywood is just risky because we just don't, like, I have to not say Hollywood because we don't know for sure that he's going to play Monday night. So just give me Tony here. Let's roll with the Tony wave. Why not? Godfather, what's good, bro? Hope you're having a great weekend. Great to see you in the house. What's up, man? Ramsey, thank you for the advice, of course, bro. Yeah, we'd love to have you each week, my dude. I already had Dalvin Cook and ETN, so I want a potential boom RB. Oh, yeah. If you kept Cook and you kept ETN, you're good, bro. You're good there, man. If you have those 3, I think you're in a good spot, bro. Because you still have 3 starting running backs. You lose Kenneth Walker. And listen, Godwin's a good option, like in the flex as a wide receiver too, because you know what you're going to get every week. You're going to get the targets. You're going to get the volume. He's going to get you 10 points plus in PPR, but does he have a high ceiling? No. No. He hasn't. I don't think he's scored a touchdown on the year, or he's scored one touchdown. I don't remember. But either way, his ceiling is extremely low. So I think it's a good trade. If you got those two guys, man, you're gravy. Should I trade Kareem Hunt for Pacheco? I would. Yeah, I would do that trade for sure. I dropped Kareem Hunt in the league to pick up Pacheco. I do the trade. What's up, Slaya? Juan, thanks for the advice, my guy. Of course, bro. Pitts and Swift have been super frustrating. 4 and 6. I need to go on a run now. Doesn't it feel like as soon as you bench those two guys, they're gonna go off? You know, like you're gonna bench them and they're both gonna score this weekend. Isn't that how fantasy works? Let's get on the run, bro. Let's do it. This is the week. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's see. Are you worried about Devontae Adams' ab injury? Would you start Adams or Hopkins? Both have slight injuries. That's tough. I mean, theoretically, like, I want both of them in my starting lineup. Without a doubt. But the injuries make things difficult. And then on top of that, you got Adams in a bad matchup. But the matchup doesn't matter for Adams. Bad matchup on paper. The Broncos have arguably the best corner in the league in Pat Surtain, who we've talked about all offseason and all season. But regardless, they also are one of the best units against opposing receivers. But in week 4, against the Broncos, Adams had 19.5 fantasy points, 13 targets, 9 receptions, 101 receiving yards. But just keep in mind, that was a home game, and the Broncos played their best football of the year that week. So the Raiders were in a position, A, where they had to throw the football, and then B, the Broncos were playing a little bit more lenient because they had the lead like the whole game. So, all right, am I thinking of that wrong? No, didn't the Raiders? I mean, both teams played well that week, but hold on, I'm checking. The Raiders had to lead the whole game. That's right. Yeah, they won 32-23. It's just sad. That's the Broncos' best game of the year. My bad, guys. That's on me. Got that backwards. But regardless, Adams is basically matchup proof, and it is a tough matchup here. So it's hard to say. Hard to say. Do I think let's look at the injury, though. He's still questionable. We should know tomorrow. I would still have Adams in your starting lineup. I'd be more worried about Hopkins because if he does not play Monday night, you're screwed, right? What do you think, Warrior? Olrak, good luck, bro. We'll talk to you soon, man. Daddy duties call. I understand that, bro. Good to have you in the house tonight. Rest of the season, Brown, Tony, or Allen? I'd still go Hollywood here. Once healthy, I go Hollywood. Carter, half PPR Dynasty, got offered Jamal Williams for Carter straight up. Would you take this? I would keep the Michael Carter side in Dynasty, Carter. No pun intended. Mike Williams or Devonta Smith? I go Mike Williams due to matchup. Don't like that matchup for Devonta. I'd rather go, if I have to go the Eagles receiver this week, it's A.J. Brown. So, how come you're not too sure about Pittman? I feel like he's a better option knowing Matt Ryan is the quarterback. I just feel like Pittman hasn't been bringing us good enough ceilings on a weekly basis. But, I mean, you're not wrong that he's a better option with Matt Ryan at quarterback. But you just got to think, like, since week 5, we've only seen one performance over 12 points, which was week 6 against Jacksonville. He's only scored 1 touchdown on the year. He's still your wide receiver 16. He's going to be much better with Ryan at quarterback over Ellinger. It's still a tough matchup against Philadelphia, and I just don't feel like he brings a great ceiling. But if you want to say floor, like PPR-wise, like, yeah, he should get 6 to 9 targets, 5 to 7 catches, 50 receiving yards, 45 receiving yards at worst. So his floor is pretty safe. So if you feel like that's a better option, I'm not going to talk you out of it for sure, bro. Caleb, what's good, bro? B-Rob, Swift, Foreman, and full PPR. Give me B-Rob. If you guys own B-Rob or Gibson, I'm firing them up this weekend against the Texans. No doubt about it. Is Keenan Allen a safe play this week, or should I play DPJ and wait to see how Keenan Allen does coming back from injury? Yes. I would wait, because I think DPJ gives you a super safe floor. Good competitive game script. They're going to be, in my opinion, they are going to be in a position where they need to throw the football. The Bills are the better team here. It's going to be a nice little competitive matchup. So I will go DPJ until we know what we're going to get out of Keenan Allen. Plus, Allen plays on Sunday night. There's still a chance he could be out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only going to stream for a couple more minutes here. Just doing a little, like an hour-long stream. I'm going to try and get to bed at a reasonable time. But I will be on tomorrow night before Sunday kickoff. So I'll be on, in time to get your guys' rosters right. Injury updates, weather updates in the morning. I'll be on 11:30 or so, and we'll hang out for a bit before kickoff. So yeah, we'll be on tomorrow, but just hitting about an hour-long stream for the night. So I appreciate you guys coming out, hanging out. We'll get through the bottom of the chat here, and then we'll start to wrap things up. Thoughts on starting Jamal Williams? What's up, Kayla? I mean, Jamal is fine, but the ceiling just hasn't felt great lately. You know what I mean? Just hasn't felt great. 11.9, 10.1, 22.6, 7.3, 5.6 are his last starts. So, even last week he scored a touchdown and only had 11.9 points. It's a tough matchup against the Giants and a tough matchup next week against Buffalo. But can you start Williams? Yes. He's still your RB15 in PPR, your RB10 in standard. You can start Williams for sure. But I worry about his ultimate ceiling at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Worry a lot. I agree. Can't wait to see if Hopkins could play. Got to play Adams. Yep. Yeah, Adams 110% matchup proof. Could he hold a little bit of a lower ceiling against the Broncos? Yeah. Could he have another 18-plus point game? Yeah. I mean, you just can't. I mean, Hopkins is the more difficult one to look at for sure. I just don't want you guys to get in a position where you get to Monday night, you need 10 points, you need 8 points, you need 5 points. Hell, you need 20 points. And you need someone in your lineup, and Hopkins doesn't play, But at the same time, if Hopkins is healthy, we want Hopkins in our lineup. So it's just a tough situation to read, you know what I mean? All right. Caleb, I think Mark Andrews has a good shot to play, but frankly, I don't quite know if he's going to play. I go Curtis Samuel over Palmer. Palmer gets a little bit of a downgrade because Mike Williams and or Keenan Allen will probably be out there. Ice-T, I will go with Connor. Caleb, Foreman or Swift? Give me Swift by a hair. By a hair. Ramsey, thank you for all the advice. So glad YouTube suggested this stream. Have a good night. Hey, let's go, Ramsey. Appreciate you being here, my dude. Damio, have a good night, my dude. Appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Love the help. Always in the kindness that you bring. Appreciate you, Caleb. Love having you in the stream, my dude. Rondo Moore or Olave? See, what's up, Face 10 Photo, by the way? Great to have you in the house, man. It's tough because, once again, we don't have a great outlook on Hollywood and Hopkins and even Kyler. So it's kind of hard to really, look at what we're going to get potentially out of Rondale Moore, who's played very good overall in the last couple of weeks. So it's close. Close is close. I'll go Rondale Moore by a hair. How do you feel about it, tenfold? It's very close. Olave, we still got Dalton out there. Feels like his ceiling has just dropped a little. Patrick, Stevenson, Chubb, Patterson, Olave, Pittman need one RB, one flex. Faye says Stevenson and Chubb easy. I agree. Yeah, I'll ride Chubb and Stevenson there all day long. All day long. David, I have Fields, JT, Diggs, Pittman, Hawkinson, and Tony in the flex. Gus, Algier, Jalen Warren, and flex. We got you, David, of course, bro. Fields, JT, Diggs, Pittman, Hawk, and Tony looks good. If Gus plays, I'll go Gus here. If he doesn't play, I'd probably go Algier, but he's so risky. I mean, you basically end up flipping a coin, David. Who do you like better, Algier or Jalen Warren, if Gus doesn't play? But hopefully Gus plays for you, bro. Santos pulled off a trade. Schultz and Gus, the bus for DK. Think it was good. Didn't think it through about DK being out this week. Well, all this season it's fine. All this week, if you needed him, it's not great. Richie, what's good, bro? I go Robinson. I mean, Patterson's got a good matchup this weekend, and I think Patterson definitely has an opportunity to have a decent week. Definitely, disappointed last week, but I gotta go B-Rob against Houston. The matchup's just too good. I think if you own B-Rob or Gibson, they're like a beautiful flex. I mean, this is the worst team in the league against the run. We want to exploit this matchup from all angles, so I go with Gibson and B-Rob. In your case, B-Rob. Good to see you, Richie. We got you, David, of course, bro. That's what we're here for. All right, guys, hit that like button on the way out for me. I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle. I got some chores to do. Then I'm going to hit the hay. And then I will be on tomorrow around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Weather updates, injury updates, start sits, whatever you guys need. We'll talk some fantasy football. We still got some time tomorrow to get your guys' schedules, to get your guys' rosters right for the weekend. So I appreciate you guys coming out tonight, man. I appreciate all the fantasy questions. I appreciate you guys keeping the conversation going in the chat and helping each other out as well. So good luck to you guys if I don't talk to you all tomorrow. And smash the like button on the way out. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to join the Discord. And link is in the description down below. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Those are the two best places to reach us when we're not streaming outside of the YouTube comment section. If you guys are new to playing Underdog Fantasy, of course, you can double your first deposit on Underdog with promo code DCatch. I'll give you guys my player props whenever you guys want them. Love doing my player props for pick'ems on Underdog, and of course we run a lot of best ball in the off season as well. So that'll do it, guys. Have a safe rest of your weekend. Have a great Saturday night. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Shout out to all the new subscribers we gained tonight. Welcome to Catch fam, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Let me know if you guys need anything. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening, and remember, you saw it here on the Catch, and